Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and today we're going to talk about the gift that keeps on giving. Will and Jada Smith and the videos and interesting things that are swirling around their relationship. So we just recently watched a video, I guess it was from a 2018, it was from her Red Table Talk, and how she was talking about how she just really didn't want to get married. And you guys can go watch this video yourself, but obviously anybody that's familiar with 3% Man knows that if you're applying what's in the book, you're the one that's going to be getting proposed to and asked to get married, and she'll be hinting about it and bringing it up. And when you watch this video clip of Jada, she didn't want to get married. There's no enthusiasm at all about her talking about their wedding, talking about getting married. It was just kind of like, oh, it's an obligation. And that's what a lot of people experience. They got cold feet or whatever. They get talked into it. Some of her family members were on there. And it's like everybody put some peer pressure on, as she said, on her to get married. And so it's like when she talks about it, she talks from a place of obligation, no enthusiasm. And I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. What do you guys think?
Does she talk from, lack of enthusiasm or from a polyamorous perspective? Where in her belief system, she believes that, we should have relationships with the one we love, but we should also have relationships possibly with other people. There's monogamy and there's polyamory and there's a whole lot of in-betweens. It seems to me...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it seems to me that she doesn't have that commitment to one perspective. If she did, there's love, like, I love you like a friend. I love ice cream. I love you so much that I'm willing to sacrifice some of the desires that I have for your sake so that I won't jeopardize what I have. And I don't think she loved Will Smith from that perspective, to where she was willing to forsake those other desires for his sake.
It's because she didn't respect him. If a woman doesn't respect you as a man, if she doesn't respect the man she's with, there's no way she can love him. And that's the vibe that I get when I watch the two of them interact. And there was another video that just came out recently, the two of them talking. I think it came out today, as a matter of fact. And they're interacting, and you can tell she's just constantly poking and prodding him, because what she's missing in her life is she's missing masculinity. And there's a lack of it in Will. He's unsure of himself. He's indecisive. He's not the leader. Anybody that is familiar with 3% Man knows that when you watch the two of them interact, you can tell she's got all the power. He put his balls in a box and slid them over to Jada, and Jada has him, and she's a total tyrant. No one will ever do or say anything to you that you don't invite them to do. And if you watch Will sit there and get berated, you could tell it's like he doesn't know what the hell's going on. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know what to do. He just looks powerless and like he is just a beat down dog because he's become so soft. And there's so many times where he has just failed to rise up, failed to be the masculine guy that he needed to be, the leader of the household, and put her in her place. And she doesn't respect him at all. And I mean, you can see it's why she's so in her masculine. You can tell under the surface that she's disgusted by him. She's disgusted by his lack of masculinity. She's disgusted by his lack of leadership. And what women need in order to feel safe and comfortable is that you're strong, that you will stand up for yourself and what you believe in. Because if you let a woman walk all over you and dominate you, and you won't stand up for yourself to her, then if she's ever in any real physical danger, she's not going to feel safe having you as a protector. And like I said, you can watch it too. I mean, he's just like a beat down dog, and she's like the man, and she's just constantly challenging his manhood in hopes that someday he'll grow a set of balls and fucking stand up to her like he has in the past. Like I talked about this in one of my other video newsletters, where I think it was back when they were dating, or maybe after they had gotten married, and they were having a disagreement or an argument, and he just said, if you're not going to talk this out calmly and communicate, because he saw his parents yelling and screaming at each other growing up. He's like, I'm not going to have that in my house. And if we can't talk and work things out, I'm out of here. I'm done. And she was stunned. And that was one of the few times that you could see when he's talking and she's talking about that event, she's submissive, she's softer, she's more feminine. Because that was one of the few times in their marriage and their relationship that he actually stood up and acted like a man, because the strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. And he said, these are my minimum standards. I'm not going to tolerate anything less. And she was shocked he was willing to blow their relationship up if she wouldn't talk things out in a calm manner, because he just like, I'm not going to have a family environment where we're yelling and screaming at each other. I'm just not going to do it.
So clearly, what you just described was before the video we just saw. So he had a boundary laid out, and then at some point in time he got weak.
Like 20, 25 years ago.
And then that boundary now no longer exists. Somehow he got weak and let that boundary be trampled on.
That's the thing with women, is that you can be on like an event like that, but if the next 50 times you collapse and you cave and you act like a bitch, I mean, at the end of the day, if you act like a bitch, women are going to treat you like a bitch. And that's his problem. He doesn't stand up to her. He doesn't put her in his place, and he lets her walk all over her because he's unsure of himself. He doesn't understand the masculine feminine dynamic and how to show up as a leader in the household to the point where she'll respect him. I mean, she's just constantly kicking him like the dog's been kicked, and he just sits there and takes it because he doesn't know what to do. You can tell. You can see it, his body language, his physiology. He's just bewildered. It's like he's gotten just jabs from so many different directions. She owns his ass. And that's not where she wants to be as a woman. She wants him. She's a beautiful woman. She wants him to step up and be a fucking man and tell her off and put her in her place, like the way Tupac used to do. Because Tupac was a man. He was a man. He was a real man.
But there was rumors that Tupac didn't want her. And he
doesn't matter. So she loved him because she respected him because he was a man. Will Smith doesn't act like a man. He acts like a boy, like a 5-year-old boy. Like I talked about in some of the other videos I did, where you watch the two of them kissing during the Oscars, and he's kissing her like a little 8-year-old boy would kiss his mommy. There's just no passion or intimacy in there. It's like everything he does is approval seeking.
There was a point in time on that, Chris Rock is a funny person. And we saw what he said and we laughed too. We appreciated his comment. He essentially complimented Jada Smith and, said.
And he said, I love you. We love you, before he made the joke about her as a way to communicate. Hey, this is all with love, this joke here.
Yeah. And Will Smith seemed to kind of laugh along with us like the rest of us did and say,
it was on video laughing.
He must have caught her attention and
remember, the camera turned away while he was laughing. And then the next thing, because you could see her and she was not happy about the joke. And then the camera cuts away back to Chris Rock. And it's so what you don't see is probably Will looking over at Jada, seeing that she's not happy. And then he's like, I got to do something about this. And because his thing, what he said was he watches, father abuse the mother physically, emotionally, verbally. And he always felt like a coward as a little boy. And so you could tell he looked over, she's not happy. And he thinks, I got to go prove myself. And so he goes up and he smacks Chris Rock. And then as he turns around and walks back, he's kind of smiling and waddling like he's all excited. And mommy's going to, give him a little pat on the head and attaboy when he gets back over there. It's like all approval seeking behavior. And that's the vibe. He wants that. You're a good boy. You're my protector. And she doesn't respect him. You can see it. She's just, some of these video clips, she's pretty nasty to him.
Yeah, that was an uncomfortable moment for me. And, I don't think the story is so much about Will Smith as Chris Rock. To me, he took a good hit. He
did turn his head when it was coming.
Well, yeah, but
that's why when I saw that, it looked like, because I saw a lot of slowed down ones, it looked like his 3 fingers, caught his chin, so it wasn't as bad as like a a slap. Have you ever seen those slap contests where people slap the shit out of each other and knock each other out?
Yes,
There was one where it's like the fingers caught him. So when I first saw that, I was like, oh, it's fake. It was all part of the act. And, and then you see afterwards, Chris Rock was clearly startled and was kind of fumbling over his words a little bit for a few seconds. And then he caught himself, and he did a masterful job of totally recovering. Because, I mean, the two of them could have gotten into a brawl on, national TV. But the only reason why Will Smith went and did that is because Chris Rock was smaller. And he believed he could intimidate Chris, and Chris wouldn't fight back. He was being a bully.
If you see the slap contests on YouTube, they are brutal. And yes, there is no blocking. Chris Rock had his hands behind his back, and he took it like a man. In the slap contest, yes, you're smacking someone, and you're going to get an equal smack back. So you're not blocking. Chris Rock did not block. You don't swing at a man that's not blocking. That was a cheap shot. It was.
He was also leaning forward, like he thought maybe Will's going to whisper something into his ear, and so he was totally in a submissive position because he had no enmity or ill intent at all in his body language or his physiology. And Will just lost his shit.
Yeah. And Chris Rock looked a little bit hurt, like, wow, I'm sorry to have said anything that might have created that.
He was doing that during a commercial break. If you saw the pictures.
Also, what I know as well, Chris Rock has a disability as well. I forgot the exact name, but it's basically he can't read nonverbal cues. So when it comes to jokes and when he saw like how Will Smith reacted, he didn't really catch it at first. It wasn't until he started screaming like what he was saying across the stage that he realized, oh, this is bad. But Chris Rock, he can't read, he can't recognize nonverbal
social cues.
Yeah.
Like social cues?
Yeah.
Like just socially inept,
It's
essentially?
actually a disorder. I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Up until
No, I've
they
met people
mentioned
like
it.
that before.
Yeah. So
I know when it comes to comedians, there's also Amy Schumer. And I was reading an article. There were several jokes that she wanted to say, but her team told her, advised her not to say them at all. And it was to joke, I think, with the Alec incident and something else with somebody's sexuality.
Or maybe someone else's jokes, too.
Yeah. It was just
The Alec incident?
Yeah.
Who's Alec?
Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
Which incident?
This is known as
The
Yeah,
last recent one. I mean, I'm not going to say it.
He shot somebody?
Yeah, she had a joke for that one, and I think she had a joke for James Franco's sexuality.
Right.
And her team advised her not to
sexual
do
addiction or something.
Her
like
her
that?
team said no, do not say that on television.
But
Out of
is
all
it
the
my thing
addictions,
when it
that's
comes
not
to,
a bad
comedians,
addiction.
they have some guidance when it comes to the team. What happened with Chris? He should have asked about that kind
But he
of
did
joke.
say,
still.
we love you.
Yeah,
That's
but
what you say to
still.
somebody that you feel close to. And
But it's very delicate.
Chris
when
didn't do
someone's
anything
sick.
wrong at all. I mean, that's bottom line. And Will lost his shit because he's a fucking bitch. And Jada owns his ass.
Yeah.
He's totally emasculated. He's like a
Could be
little
that.
boy that has no idea what to do.
People also said this is staged, so I don't know if that's true.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
Nothing
Chris
about
doubt
Rock's
it.
reaction was not
I doubt it.
staged. And after everything that's happened afterwards, that was not staged.
Could be.
That would have come out. Because they would have been saying, oh, we were just joking. It was play acting.
Yeah, during commercial
It
break, I
could've
think it
been.
was Bradley Cooper and I don't know who else that came up to Will, and they were like,
Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
And,
They were
Tyler
talking
Perry,
to
I think,
him.
was in one of the other ones.
they were
Yes.
like talking to him, like I think trying to calm him down or reassure him or something.
Should have
So-
choked him out. Just kidding.
Not even after a few minutes after the slap happened, memes were popping on the internet like crazy. So that was interesting.
Yeah, I woke up to so many TikTok videos. People were just all over the place. And then I saw it in Only in Dade. They
Yeah.
replayed it. It was hilarious.
They also have the one with Oscar from Shark Tale and the zebra from Madagascar. I forgot the name of the zebra. That you know how Chris Rock voiced
Oh,
the zebra
yes.
and Will
And-
Smith
yeah,
did
I see that
Oscar.
one.
Yeah, so that was funny.
I'm not going to feel bad in the least bit about Will Smith's revenues going down, and I'm not going to feel bad
He's
about
got
Chris
fuck you
Rock's
money at
going
this
up.
point.
Did he just say that he was like the little boy that just wanted mommy to say,
Yes, he said
What
that.
I've been saying in my videos, I've said it in several
He
videos.
literally
This is the
said
first
it.
time
Maybe that's
so
what
you guys,
she
I don't think you've seen the clip, but it was part of the Red Table Talk. And so he's basically saying He literally came out and said the stuff I've been saying in the videos about how he's a little boy looking for mommy's approval. And I could see the body language of that. And then here's a video where he even is aware of that and he's talking about it and admitting that. And you just tell the look on her face. She's disgusted with him. She's absolutely disgusted with Will. She doesn't respect him. It looks like she loathes him because he's such a fucking pussy when he's around her.
Yeah.
And he has no idea. He just cannot tell.
She's giving him like the murder in the sleep vibes and eyes. Just like, you keep
Jesus.
talking. I'm gonna keep that toast in the toaster a little longer and burn down this whole place. Will. That's the eye she gives.
That's
She's just about to
brutal,
like
man.
explode from it, you know?
It's like, come on, man. Come on, Will. Jesus Christ, dude. I could do one phone session with him and set his ass right.
Let me go
If
controversial
he's
here, though.
coachable.
Let me be controversial on this one. Is there any repairing this relationship?
That's a good question.
If Will starts acting like a man consistently, anything's possible. But, I mean, you know, you can see in the comments, guys are like, she belongs to the streets. And I said it in one of my videos. I mean, she's nasty to him. She doesn't respect him. I mean, they've been together for decades. And, you know, she's been waiting for decades for him to man the fuck up and act like a man consistently. And it's like, he ain't getting the message. And
But she could have like hired a therapist or someone that
They've
could
done
help.
all
Oh, you mean
that.
like a
Nothing.
marriage
She's
therapist?
sucking
Yeah,
the-
but
I
I
believe
mean,
they've done all
If
that.
they did all that, he must have changed in a way, but something's missing.
My personal opinion, if you have to resort to marriage counseling, I think your relationship, the chances of it being doomed are highly likely.
Well,
That's how I see it.
Most couples therapists suck. I mean, because I do a lot of phone sessions with guys where they're getting like nowhere in therapy. And at the end of the day, if a guy is acting like a pussy, his wife's pussy is going to be drier than a bucket of sand. If he starts acting like a man, and it doesn't matter if it's heterosexual or gay relationship or a lesbian relationship, once the masculine one starts acting masculine like a man and acting like a leader, boom, it's like a switch. It comes back instantly. I've done phone sessions with lesbian couples where they haven't had sex 6 to 8 months. She's the one I'm coaching starts acting like a man in essence, the masculine essence, and they're tearing each other's clothes off that same weekend just because the sexual polarity comes back. And that's what attracts, you know, the masculine to the feminine is that polarity, the masculinity versus the softness of femininity. And when you got a couple where their energies are too similar, there's no sexual polarity. It's the same thing in heterosexual, gay, or lesbian relationships. If it's not highly polarized like that, they basically become like platonic friends and roommates, and therefore they don't want to have sex with each other. And especially the woman doesn't want to have sex with the man, or the feminine essence doesn't want to have sex with the masculine essence because it doesn't feel safe. Because the masculine essence is not showing up and being a man. And when you watch Jada and Will interact, you can see it. He's acting like a little boy, and she's the man in the relationship, and she resents the fuck out of it. She hates it. And she hates him for being so fucking weak. Because I think deep down, she wants to love him and respect him, but she just doesn't because this has gone on for decades, and it's not getting through. He's still a little boy seeking mommy's approval, and he even admitted this in the video, and I've never seen this before.
It was back in 2018.
Yeah, because I've done like this, the 5th video I think now we've done this, and this is the first time I've seen this clip, and you can go back and watch those things. It's like I can see it in his body language, his physiology, the way they interact. That's the problem. He's like a little boy, and she's the man, and she fucking hates it. When she was with Tupac, that was not an issue. He was the man. He was the man. He was a man. Like Jay-Z, man.
It's a beautiful dress.
So Will needs to drop those fucking goody two shoes. Act a little bit more like Jay-Z.
I mean,
Stop giving a fuck.
If they divorce, that's not even worth it because now what's going on with the Oscars and they're sentencing him to 10 years of not receiving an Oscar.
Yeah, they banned him for
Like,
10 years.
Was it really worth that slap? Was it really
No, not really.
for someone that you love? And
Does he still get gift baskets though?
If he's a man, he shouldn't care about that, though.
Exactly. It's not
That should
big
be a
deal.
little slap on the wrist. But okay, I messed up and stuff.
But
So
he
I'm not
messed up
gonna.
big time. Like, but what happens in the future? Because like once one door closes, you don't think the other doors will close?
More
Because they're
doors
not
open.
accepting the violence.
I
You
think
know
he
what I
needs
mean?
less exposure. He needs to more just work on himself. I think he needs to go on his own journey.
He has a lot
He
of
can-
repressed
he
emotions.
can still
right?
man up.
3% man. That's what he needs to do.
He needs
Anybody
to read
knows
it?
He's
him,
gotta-
get him to read this 10 to 15 times and book a session.
Hey.
One session is all it'll take.
He can still
It might work.
man up, make more movies. He doesn't have to win an award to,
But he's desperate to have his wife respect him and seek her approval. And that's a big part of the problem. Because at the end of the day, us guys, we just want to make the women happy. And if she's not happy, we take personal responsibility for it. That's why he's lost his shit at the Oscars. But if she's happy, we also take credit for that. And when she's not happy and she's mad and she's pissed off, he's doing everything he can, jumping through his butt, trying to make her happy and make her respect him. And that's the problem. His whole demeanor is seeking mommy's approval. And she doesn't want a little boy. She wants a man that will lead her, that she can respect and look up to and admire the way Giselle admires Tom Brady. Giselle is Tom Brady's biggest fan and cheerleader. She's at all of his games. She's always celebrating. She's always encouraging him. She's extremely feminine, extremely girly. And Tom Brady's a fucking man on the field. He's in command of the offense. He's in command on the team. He's in command of himself. And that's why his wife loves him and trusts him, even though she's one of the most successful and richest supermodels in the world. You should pay attention to what Tom is doing because Tom has it. He's the man.
Mhm.
7-time Super Bowl champion, the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
I had my strong.
If I was Will
opinions about it.
Smith, I'd be on a plane to go hang out with Tom Brady and Giselle and hang out with them. And of course, read 3% Man. I'm over here in a podcast.
I'd like to go with that Tom
That'd
Brady
be dope.
thought
That'd be
though,
really
because
cool.
I don't know what his wife's name is. What?
Giselle Bündchen. She's Brazilian. And Brazilians do it better,
All right.
as they say.
Can I bring
My
up a
personal
controversial topic in marriage?
Sure.
Would you say that Giselle is submissive in that
Yes.
relationship?
Yes.
Would you say that in that relationship of submission?
But she speaks her mind.
Well, in a submissive relationship, the man should hear her mind
Yep.
and take into consideration. In that kind of relationship, it's the man's job to love that wife and hear her and consider and take everything into account. I believe that he never retired. He put it out there that he might retire, but the reality is it seemed like he put a little caveat in there, and he was concerned about how his family had to.
He
deal
always
with-
said he was going to play till he was 45. And at the end of the day, you can tell Giselle's like not happy about that. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady's Tom Brady, and he's going to do what he needs to do. And she's going to follow his lead because she loves him. And there'll be friction. She'll test him, which is what you see Jada doing to Will all the time. She tests him. The problem with Will is he fucking collapses. But Tom Brady's like, maybe, I don't really have the same. Because I think what he was saying is he doesn't have the same level of enthusiasm and commitment. And he would not want to commit to another season if he couldn't give at the level and be as disciplined as he needed to play at the same level he just played in the past year. And so in that situation where the man is doubting himself, the wife is actually going to add to that doubt. Well, I don't want you to get hurt. It's like you've played longer than anybody, baby. You got 7 rings. It's like you've done more than anybody's done. And, we love you. Your family wants you around. But at the end of the day, Tom's going to be like, man, one more ring. Because at the end of the day, Bill Russell, what's he got, 11? So Tom Brady would need to win 4 more Super Bowls to catch the championship rings that the great Bill Russell got in the NBA. Granted, it's different league, different times, but at the end of the day, when people say the greatest of all time, sports-wise, we got 11 rings, 11 championships. It's like, that's kind of a mic drop thing. But as far as football, Tom Brady's just he's absolutely dominated in a way that nobody's ever done before. His level of commitment is on a level that nobody's ever done before.
Yeah.
So I don't believe he was just saying that for the hell of it.
I'm not a relationship expert.
If you look at Brett Favre, when you look at, he's like, I don't know, I may stay in Green Bay, I may retire, and and Aaron Rodgers is chomping at the bit. He's like, I've been buying you like 4 or 5 years. I'm ready to get out there and play and show what I can do. And then he was like hemming and hawing in and out, and then I think they traded him to the Jets, or they released him and he signed with the Jets. And then he had, I think it was 2 good seasons there. And he's like, I don't know. And then he goes to the Vikings, and they had that great, they were so close. I think it was 2010, this last year. I mean, just amazing. And then he was like, that's it, I'm done. And then the team, the offensive line guys, flew to where he was. And we're like, come on, one more year. We were so close last year. And he's like, I'll do it for you guys. And so Favre gave one more year. And I believe that's what Tom is going through. Because I've gone through that a couple times in my life where you work in a certain industry, especially you got decades at it, your internal enthusiasm changes. And it gets harder to do it naturally, to be disciplined, to play, to contribute at the level that you need to contribute to be exceptional at it. And it's, the only thing Brady's ever loved is football. And, he's at the point though, where the enthusiasm is starting to wane.
I don't think so.
But he still wants that one more ring.
I'm going to appreciate your expertise. And, you wrote a book and I didn't. But I still think that he knew he was going to play another season, and he knew eventually his wife was going to say, it's okay. And he wanted her input on it, and it's not a place of weakness. He knew it was coming. He knew the validation was coming.
Approval. I don't see
it wasn't seeking her approval. It was letting her be in on the decision and knowing that she was going to support him in that, but just giving her the opportunity to say it's okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that's how Tom rolls. Because Giselle loves him and she would want him to be happy. She would want her man to be happy.
Yes, and he was willing to say...
And support him either way.
He was willing to say, I'll even not play next season for you. And then it was a little bit of a waiting time. It's okay to play. I'm playing. And he knew it was coming. He knew it was coming. Yeah, he wanted to play. Man. He wasn't gonna sit out. All right.
I don't see
that's
Tom
my take.
Seeking Giselle's approval, the if you listen to the two of them, you can tell there is definitely, it seems like there's a little friction there because he keeps saying another year, maybe another 5 years, and you can tell because she's given up a lot, business wise and career wise to support him because he's on the road a lot doing that. So it's a tremendous commitment for the whole entire family. But same token, it's like he's the man. He's the head of the household.
No doubt it's trauma, whether it's a professional football or WCW or any of those, aggressive athletic sports. And especially as you're getting older, these injuries can be damaging and they can be permanent and forever. And Tom knows that. And I think it was just a respect thing. Honey, I'll let you be in on the decision.